Marzipan chocolates. Hi, welcome to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana. This is Sonika and the recipe that we're making today is that of chocolates. So how are we going to make different chocolates today? What we're making is marzipan chocolates. Let's take a look at all the ingredients that we need to make this. Dark chocolate, almonds that have been peeled and blanched, icing sugar, a few teaspoons of milk, some vanilla essence and lemon juice. So to make marzipan chocolates, what we're going to do first is that we're going to just dry roast the almonds a little. Because we want to get away all the moisture for them, we need a completely dry, coarse powder of almonds. So let's put a pan on heat and we're just going to dry roast these almonds on low heat for a couple of minutes. The idea is that we want to get rid of all the moisture that they have because we need a dry powder to make this. Now I'm going to put off the heat and we're going to let this cool slightly. So I'm making these marzipan chocolates using just almonds, but you could always use a mix of almonds and cashews to make these chocolates. It'll taste great even that way. So now that the almonds are slightly cooled, I'm going to transfer them into a mixie jar. So now that we've got the almonds in the mixie jar, I'm going to blitz it for a minute, actually less than a minute, for a second. And then we're going to open the lid so we don't get a very moist mixture of almonds. We need a dry powder. So we'll be doing this a couple of times so we get a perfect mixture ready. In case you've got a pulse button on your mixer grinder, then you should make sure you definitely use that because that's the kind of grinding that we need for this. So we finished grinding the almonds and this is the kind of consistency that we want. We don't want it to be too coarse and we don't want it to be too fine, and it's nice and dry. So now we'll just put this aside for a bit and move on to the next step. So for the next step, I've got some icing sugar that I'm going to pass through a sieve just to make sure that we've got a nice lumpless mixture. If you have icing sugar that is completely lump free, which the chances of which are slim, you can just use it directly, but like you can see, there are a lot of lumps in these, so we're going to pass it through a sieve. Now we're going to add the powdered almonds to the icing sugar. And now we're going to add in the other ingredients. Add in a couple of spoons of lemon juice. Next I'm going to add in a couple of drops of vanilla essence. You could also use almond essence if you want. Let's give all of this a good mix. Now to this, we're going to add a couple of spoons of milk and knead this into a soft dough. So make sure you don't go overboard with the milk. Start off with a few spoons and add more in case you feel you need more. So I'm going to have to use my hands for this. So just bringing it together a couple of times and then you'll have a dough ready, which should be somewhat of this consistency. So we've got the dough ready, and what we're going to do now is that we've got a slightly damp muslin cloth with which I'm going to cover this dough and we're going to refrigerate it for about 30 minutes to an hour just so the sugar that we've added to it solidifies, and when we're shaping the chocolates it's going to be really easy then. So now that this is nicely wrapped in a muslin cloth, let's put this into the refrigerator for about an hour. I've got the marzipan mixture out of the refrigerator. Now we're going to make delicious chocolates out of these. And for that, we're going to melt some dark chocolate in a microwave. So we're going to temper this chocolate really nicely so it coats the marzipan mixture well. So our chocolate is superbly melted. We're going to put this aside for a bit and we're going to shape the marzipan mixture into little balls. Make sure they don't have any cracks on them. So now we're going to dip these in chocolate. We're going to wait for the excess chocolate to drip off. And we're going to do the same with the rest of the marzipan, and then we'll refrigerate this so they get nice and set before you can start eating them. So I've shaped some of these into bigger pieces of chocolate and I've got some tiny pop in your mouth chocolate shots. So let's put these in the refrigerator and let them set for a bit, and then we can be ready to eat them. I've got these lovely marzipan chocolates out of the fridge and they're nicely set. I've stacked them up in a bowl and we're just going to slightly dust this with some icing sugar so they look prettier. So here they are, marzipan chocolates. Now that you've got the basic recipe for this, you could innovate doing whatever you like. Maybe use nuts for a stuffing or desiccated coconut, or maybe coat them with white chocolate, whatever pleases your taste buds. So make sure you try this recipe because it is fabulous.